So I recently came across this book called The One Thing, and there was this one particular chapter in the book about multitasking that I was really intrigued by. I try and multitask as much as I can, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. And that's because multitasking has become so mainstream these days that many of us actually believe that this is something they have to do it. Multitasking is perceived as some kind of achievement, and more people try to do it. Do you ever wonder why sometimes you're able to do two or more tasks at the same time, while other times you struggle to handle two tasks together? How do you think that affects your productivity? This is what I wanted to talk about in this video: multitasking and why it's a myth, and why it's an effective way of getting less done. Hello friends, welcome to the channel. My name is Rahul, and in this video we'll try and debunk the myth of multitasking. Let's start with where the term multitasking actually came from, and I promise I won't go too far in the past. This was actually a term used for computers starting in the 60s to describe the concurrent processes performed by computers. This is a bit misleading as they share the same resource but process one piece of code at a time. It's just that they're fast and can switch or alternate between tasks without any cost. In other words, multitasking is about multiple tasks sharing the same resource, but it is often misunderstood to mean that those tasks are actually happening simultaneously or at the same time. So let's see how task switching actually works in humans. We share the same resource, our brain, just like computers. And we can do two tasks at the same time, like walking and talking, or riding a bike and listening to music. So we can actually do two tasks at once. But what we cannot do is effectively focus on two or more tasks at the same time. And the reason why we cannot focus on two or more tasks at the same time is because of our brain channels. We have different brain channels for different tasks. For example, physical activities like breathing or walking come from a different channel than focus does. And as long as there is no conflict or overlapping of these channels, we can effectively multitask or do two tasks at the same time. But if one of the tasks requires you to use a channel that's already in use, that's when the problem arises. So let's say you get a phone call from a friend, and the friend is describing a situation from the past that needs you to visualize it, and you happen to be driving at the same time. It will be really hard for you to do those two tasks at the same time. You cannot effectively focus on two important tasks at once. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how multitasking has changed for me ever since I started working from home due to COVID. I find myself more productive at home than I was at the office. At the beginning, it was a bit hard, but I just had to get myself in a routine. And now, even if I go to the office once in a while, I think I get more done when I'm working from home. Research estimate that every worker at the office get interrupted every 11 minutes, and then they lose about one third of their day just recovering from it. They also say that we lose about on an average about 28% of our day from multitasking ineffectiveness. And I won't go too much in details about that, but I will link the resources in the description. So why do you think we multitask? Why do you think we feel the need to do two or more things at the same time? Easy answer is we think we can, so we should. It's just never possible to do it effectively. Now let's look at the summary before we go. We talked about how multitasking was a term used for computers and how they process different tasks alternatively. Then we discussed about task switching in human versus computers and how we are able to focus on two important things at once, and also brain channels and how the interference affects our ability to multitask. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what techniques you follow to overcome multitasking or avoid distraction. And in order to keep up to date with my latest video, you can click over there, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button over here. Thank you.